Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of No Title Needed right here at the beautiful Feinstein's Cabaret in Carmel, Indiana, US of A. I'm Cynthia Collins.
And I'm Scott Osborne.
And we are your co-hosts. And today, bring it. And today, our guest is Susan St. Angelo. Let me tell you what I really wanted to say. Susan St. James.
People say that all the time.
Do they?
Yes.
The actress Susan St. James from Macmillan and Wife.
Yes.
And I grew up watching that before your time.
Yes.
And but anyway, Susan St. Angelo. Yes. All right, Susan.
You can call me Susie.
Susie.
That's what I call her.
Do you?
Yes.
All right, Susie. Susie for short.
Yes.
Actually, I do call her Aunt Susie.
Okay, Aunt Susie. It's getting better. They're getting better and better here.
Feeling old.
Aunt Susie. What are you doing with your life right now? You've probably had, I don't even know you, but I'm figuring you'd had a few incarnations.
I have.
Through your life journey. So what's on your plate right now?
Well, right now I am a health coach / life coach and a breathwork facilitator and a podcaster, believe it or not.
Right. You have your own podcast.
I have my own podcast.
What's the title?
Title is SOS for Your Life, Emergency Wisdom for Everyday Life, and SOS is my initials.
I love that.
So I had to incorporate it somehow.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your middle name then?
My middle name is, my maiden name is Osborne,
Oh, right, of course.
but my middle name is Elizabeth.
That's nice. I love that name.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are you teaching people? What are people getting from you?
Well,
Right.
I would say it's all about lifestyle changes. You know, our health is more than diet and exercise, and that's what I tell people, and that's what I say about my podcast is, you know, it's all the other things that go into our life. It's our career, it's our spirituality, it's our finances, it's our home life, it's our cooking. It's everything around us, and people tend to focus on diet and exercise solely.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to make sure that people know that there's more to our health, that we maybe need to peel back that onion and those layers. And it's, you know, it's bringing more joy back into our life. And sometimes it's changing some of our patterns and our habits. You know, it's taking small steps that lead to big changes.
Do you think people, well, I know people do this, but they press down, they suppress certain things. They're like, I'm fine. And they ignore.
Hide it in the gym.
They ignore certain things, right?
Mhm.
Right? So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's interesting you should say that, because that was me.
Okay.
I'm going to go back a few years on this, so bear with me, because it's all led to where I am now.
Right. Go.
And so I got engaged my junior year in college, and first love, and I graduated. I had major surgery my senior year, spring break. I graduated in May, and in June I got a call from my fiance that his dad had died, and I was to be married and was married a month later. And so you may think, well, that's nothing, but his father took his own life. And so that changed the trajectory of our lives. And so, you know, you suppress a lot there, and you have to take responsibility and be a grown-up, and that's what I did. And so I moved into, after he was finished with school, I took on a corporate job, you know, went into the corporate world like a good girl, big people pleaser. So I did that for several years, 20 years, only to keep suppressing a lot of emotions, and I burn out. And I experienced a burnout of my career, my health, and my marriage.
Oh, you married to him that whole time?
No, I was married. I remarried.
Okay.
And, you know, I did all those things. I sat on boards. I chaired committees. I was involved in the community. I entertained clients. And, you know, wearing yourself out is not a badge of honor anymore. And it never should have been. But I didn't have anybody to tell me otherwise.
Right.
And so I think that's part of my role now with people I work with, is to be able to say, it's okay to give yourself some grace. You don't have to be this wonder person, mostly Wonder Woman. You can do other things and be okay with not being 100%.
Right.
And so, you know, a lot of me had to burn out to realize I had to come back, you know. And so I hired a health coach first. And then I realized I could peel back some of the emotional layers I needed to heal. as well as the physical barriers. And so that led me to getting certified as a coach because I thought if I'm experiencing this, certainly there's other people who are too. And I think there's men who are too.
Well, we're all humans.
Yes.
Right.
It's not like it's a human. We're humans.
Right.
Everybody has different
I
chemicals.
know I need help.
I think you do too, but but I mean, everybody has a little different chemical makeup, but that's
Right.
what makes everybody different and have different problems and issues.
Right.
No one's perfect, thank God.
No.
But you, with experiencing like what you experienced, right?
Right.
Obviously, makes you a better coach,
Right.
Yes.
right?
Right.
Right.
I'm curious what that certification looked like and how that experience was.
The certification.
What do you have to do for that, right?
Yeah, it was a year long and it was all virtual. And so you meet classmates and you actually start practicing coaching back and forth with your classmates. And you tap into what you thought was going to be just, health and diet and nutrition and all that stuff. And it really turns into so much more. You talk about shadow work, you talk about breath work. And then, you have tests and you become certified. And then they say, well, there you go. You could do anything. And a number of people who go through the process don't actually coach. They actually create products. They do podcasts. They start other businesses. I opted to want to help one person at a time. And while that's challenging, it's very rewarding. And at this stage in my life, I want something rewarding that's, not just transactional.
How much of that training was psychological?
It's a good question, Scott. I would say probably more than 50%, truthfully, and sometimes it was pretty hard. One exercise they gave us was to write letters to people who had not wronged you, but, people in your past you need to forgive. You don't give it to them, but you can, but I didn't. But it was an exercise and releasing a lot of pain.
Yeah. Well, they say writing is good. If you write it out,
Yes.
doesn't mean you have to send it. Just get it out of your system.
Yes.
Write it out
Write it out, rip it up,
and get rid of
burn
it.
it,
Yeah.
put it in the water, flush it down the toilet, whatever you want to do. But it is a good release. And then they say, journaling, and I always encourage journaling if that is comfortable to you and to my clients. Writing, just freehand writing can really be therapeutic.
Yeah. It can. You must have had, okay, well, go ahead. Do you want to know?
No.
So I was wondering, with the clients you have had,
Yes.
they obviously vary. And
Yes.
what's really tough? What's like the toughest person to not crack the surface, but it almost is like cracking the surface and starting, like you say, to peel away,
The onion.
the onion.
Yes, well, it's tough when you find a person who's really stubborn and resistant and doesn't want to change.
Well, you're lucky you grew up with a bunch of those.
Really?
Okay, that's getting into the
black sheep.
nitty gritty, the skeletons in the closet.
I'm the black sheep, so I've done the shitty.
But if a person comes to you, they obviously want help, but they're resisting the help.
They are
So
resisting.
that's contradicting themselves, of course, but that's all part of it anyway.
But part of it is finding out how they learn best and what motivates them. And is it a text every morning? I've worked with one woman in Arizona, and she wanted to start meditating. And she said, that's going to help me relax, but I want to do it first thing in the morning. Well, there's a time change. So I would send her a text every day, 5 days a week.
Oh my God, meditating with you?
No, I
Okay.
didn't meditate with her, but
Right.
I sent her a clever text every day, 5 days a week for a month,
Difference.
that she would wake up to,
Oh, okay.
and that would help her meditate.
That's kind of a controversial thought in the first place. I have never felt calm and collected. So, that's a hard thing to...
Well, it's good. It's the best way to do it because you wake up, and if you don't do it the minute you wake up, your day's going to get away from you, and
That's
you
a
will
good
never do it. You will never do it. We have to take a quick break. Okay, Susie, Aunt Susie,
Aunt Susie.
to you, but not to you.
Well,
Susan
don't call her that.
St. Angelo. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm Randy Sorrell. I hope you love some of my art that you are about to experience. Cheers. Fruit of the Vine is this one's title, and it celebrates our love of wine and vineyards and historic maps and beautiful grapes. I think you would love this somewhere in your home. If you dig music, especially jazz or blues and small nightclubs or even the Palladium, you're really going to enjoy this rhythm and blues oil paintings. Just absolutely captures the character and the vibe of being in one of those fun clubs. Welcome to Afternoon on the Sands. And if you've been there, you recognize it, right? Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower, one of the many historical bridges, cool oil painting with metallic. Oh, I love downtown Indy, and this is Monument Circle with the historic monument and Robert, Indiana's famous love sculpture, acrylic painting. What a great way to celebrate your heritage.
Hey everyone, welcome back to No Title Needed with our guest, Susan St. Angelo, aka Aunt Susie. Okay, so let's talk about this podcast that you have and how long it's been running and what you really concentrate on with this podcast of yours.
Well, thanks for asking about the podcast.
Sure.
Yeah, it's called SOS, which is my initials.
Right, got it.
For Your Life, Emergency Wisdom for Everyday Life. And it's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon platforms. And it wasn't something I ever thought I would do. But Scott's sister and my daughter-in-law both suggested I do a podcast. And it was really a creative outlet to talk about health coaching, sort of in a not so obvious way, because I could tap into all those areas that we view our health. And so I can have interesting guests who have lots of wisdom that I don't have, and I can have some wisdom from previous experience of going through what I've gone through. So I have various guests from art therapy to sleep specialists to people on menopause, to finance, to hypnotherapy. That was an interesting conversation. Just a wide variety. And I think that's what's so exciting about it. It doesn't appeal to everybody, but I think someone and anybody, I always ask, and what's your SOS? What's one or two tips that people can take with them that are listening or watching this podcast? And, because, we want something fast and we want something simple.
People want immediate gratification.
They do.
It's not the old days when you had to wait for your film to develop.
Well, looking for help, though, I just love how your initials just happen to turn out SOS. That is just, I wanted to make a joke along the lines. Did you always want to go by SOS?
Well, it stands for Save Our Souls. You know that.
Right.
That's that
Is
was
it really?
Save Our Souls. That became the new Marconi.
Yeah.
SOS after
I love that.
A lot of people thought it was Save Our Ship, but you're right.
Well,
That is
I
the
used to
original.
think it was Save Our Ship, but it's even more Save Our Souls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing.
Yes.
A person's soul.
Yes.
Is a huge component of a person, and like you said, there's so many different paths that people take. Right. Like we were talking about plan. You got to plan everything, and you should plan. But then it's like, even a day it doesn't work out like you thought. Oh, my day, I didn't know this was going to come up.
Mess up your week, which
Right.
can mess up your month, and then
Oh, right.
All
of a sudden you're in a
then we're
fetal
calling
In
Susie.
a fetal position, you're calling Susie. So I'm here. What? How many? I mean, do you call them clients? What do you call them?
I do call them clients.
How many do you have? How many people you work
A
with?
handful, not as many as I'd like, but certainly I think that some of my clients are people that subscribe to my email newsletter and listen or watch the podcast. And I think people are hesitant to ever reach out for help. I think that there's a big, broad group of people who need it. And to narrow it down to the people who will actually pay for it is a much smaller group. And your physicians maybe are telling you and anyone else, you've got to do this, but they don't know where to lead them. And so that's where I step in and taking that next step and saying, well, maybe your doctor's right. Maybe getting more exercise would be good for you. And let's find some things that make you happy and you enjoy doing. And let's build that into your life.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with endorphins.
No.
I think
Eating
they
a rainbow.
make a huge difference in life. I think everyone could do some sort of physical activity.
I agree.
But it's finding the right thing for them. Because some people are like, I can't do that. I can't do this. You don't have to. Just find something that's right for you. Take a walk.
What works for you may not work for me.
Oh, absolutely
What works for
not.
you may not work for me. And I realized this when I hired one, that I was doing all this cardio and skipping meals at my age, and that was not good for my cortisol and my body at that stage. And I needed to back off that and to be a lot calmer with my body. And I found that it was healthier.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's everybody and in different stages, of their life.
right.
You know, get older. I know that Nat needs your SOS.
She likes my perfume.
This Nat joins the podcast every time.
Wow.
We don't even try to hide it anymore. We welcome the Nat.
Yep.
We're all inclusive here.
Yes.
So,
And Nat is short for Natalie.
Natalie. Oh, that's it. That's it.
Telling you.
She does have a favorite body type, but we don't tell her yes that.
So, oh my God, just slip. Oh, do you Zoom with people or do you see people in person? How do you do this?
I can do in person, but I think people don't like that as much anymore. They would prefer phone, text, or Zoom.
Wow. So
Why do you think
see
that
some
is?
People, right? You didn't see them.
I think it's a little more intimidating. I think it's intimidating being across from someone, just maybe like a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but maybe
Right.
people said I kind of.
But locking eyes,
But
telling their full truth eye to eye is a little bit harder.
exactly.
Also, they can hide. See, I think in person is the best.
I do too.
Because then you're responsible. You're held accountable, right? When you're looking right in the eyes of someone, you can't avert it. You know, people are more likely to hopefully tell the truth. You know, rather than a text. Are you kidding?
And on a Zoom call, you can be wearing a suit coat and sitting in your underwear. There's a whole
That's what I do.
element,
I'm doing that right now.
Well, let me say this, with my breath work, that's mostly been virtual, but when I started to do in person, it's amazing how many people want touch. They want me to touch their head, or their feet, or their shoulders, and it calms them down. But yet in coaching, people don't like the in-person. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So, everybody's different. Again, I have to respect how people learn and how people are going to grow.
Well, and what people are used to now,
Right.
which that's a lot of it.
That
Yes.
is.
The whole Zoom.
Not driving,
You're not driving.
not introduction, where there's a handshake, a hug, one or the other, and then an exit.
But see, I miss that.
Like, me too. I very much miss that.
Yes.
But I'm glad we do our shows in person for that very reason.
Yes.
But if there's
Yeah.
some social practices that are going out the door.
Well, they are, and everybody like on their phone, and I'm like, can you just pick your head up, please, and look at something?
But here's what I've noticed in the last few years, especially, people do want connection. And there's a lot of lonely people out there in the world that became lonely, I think, as a result of the pandemic.
Sure.
But I definitely think there's a whole group of people that want so badly to connect, and they don't know how.
But I feel like it's half and half. Half it's like just totally cool with it. The other half is like, where did my connections go?
Yes.
When you do it in person, where are you? Where do you do it?
I let the client choose what's best for them.
Oh,
If that is a coffee shop, or if that is at my house,
okay.
or if that is, in a park that we're private. And then the client
That's
choose
nice.
that.
That's great.
Because this is their time.
Their comfort zone.
Their comfort
Their
zone.
comfort zone. Get more out of them.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yes.
We have to wrap it up.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Susie. Saint
You were great.
Angelo. I never forget. But anyway, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for doing what you do, and helping people. I hope you continue doing this, and I hope you get out of it what you want.
Yes.
So,
Well, thank you for letting me be a guest and,
Sure.
and being here and enjoying both of you.
All a pleasure.
yeah,
Yeah.
our pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of No Title Needed here at Feinstein's. Come on over, see a cabaret, have a drink, have a little nosh, see some great entertainment. Something going on almost every night over here. And so you won't be disappointed. And it is a lovely, beautiful
They did a
venue.
great job.
They do.
Yeah.
So if you want a good cocktail and good entertainment, come on over. Cynthia Collins,
Scott Osborne.
and we'll see you next time.
See ya.